This episode of the MOC Squad was filmed in front of a live, members-only audience. Okay, can folks hear us now? Hello. Any better now with the audio? Are people able to hear me? If you can give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Testing. Rob looks pissed, yes. I was not ready for Rob today. Yes, finally. Syrian Penguin is saying we can be heard.
I can't hear you now.
You can't hear me now. Well, why is that happening? Hello. Can you hear me now, Rob?
I can hear you.
You can. Now. Folks, can people hear us out in the world of YouTube streaming? Are we hearing? And Rob, say something to make sure. Can everybody hear Rob?
Can you say something to make everybody know that I'm out there?
Yes, let us know.
Is there everybody out there?
Is there anybody out there? Video is in black and white now. No, come on. Really?
That's okay. We can to celebrate Novel Vague, Novel Vague, I can't even say Novel Vague. I can't speak French. Richard Linklater's new movie about the making of Breathless that causes a hubbub at Cannes.
Okay, I think the black and white was either a joke or somebody needs to adjust their settings, because I'm monitoring the stream here and I can see that we've got color going. All right.
By the way, for those of you who think I've started day drinking, I would have no problem admitting it. I just want you to know that this has Diet Coke in it, because on my way down, this is the first day wearing cargo shorts. And I had a bunch of stuff in my cargo shorts, and the Diet Coke got pierced.
Yeah,
I poured it into here because it was literally spewing out of my.
What? I don't know. I want to know what did you have in your pocket that pierced it? That's what I want to know.
Just my key.
Oh wow.
I see where you're going with that. Hey, I can muster that. I can muster that. I'm just I can muster that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's rewind. Welcome everybody to the MOC Squad, the members-only chat. Sorry for those technical difficulties there on the front end. My apologies. Rob, welcome once again.
Well, hello.
To this lovely weekend and this members only chat. Any news to share before we get started here?
Oh, I got news. I got news, and I the news is because of you.
Wow.
I got a package.
Praise
I'm holding down the fort here with the ladies are in France at a wedding. Elizabeth's cousin's getting married. I stayed behind to take care of the 4 dogs and the 3 cats in the 2 houses. Somebody had to do it. And it would have cost whatever I had to pay for a plane ticket would have gone into paying those people to pay off the house, or take care of the house. So I'm doing it myself. And there was, I have to make sure I have to look at boxes coming in the front. There was a box. There was a loan box that I was like, I didn't order anything. What was in the box? Well, I have the box. I have to make sure that you can't see my address here. Oh, it's right here. So this is the box I got, and I don't know if anyone can see this. Can you see this?
Yeah, we can see it. I put you front and center so we can see the box.
If anybody has read Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary, which, to be fair, I mean, it's not like the hardest science fiction you've ever read, but it's a fantastic book. Read it in one sitting. I saw the Amazon Studios has adapted it. Lord and Miller have done it. 21 Jump Street and Into the Spider-Verse. They showed us 8 minutes of the movie. It looks absolutely spectacular. I read the book in one sitting. It is my most eagerly awaited movie in 2026.
Yeah.
Bar none. Especially after seeing 8 minutes of it. But when I saw this mission patch from Project Hail Mary, I'm like, what the fuck is in this box? So I opened it, and then I realized it was from you.
It was from me. So a belated birthday gift for Rob.
A belated. Now, this is a spoiler alert.
Big spoiler alert.
Big spoiler alert. If you have not read Project Hail Mary, there is, in fact, and I hope they don't show this in any of the trailers, but they're going to do it because some idiot's going to say you don't have to. The trailer, the 8 minutes they showed us was compelling enough.
Yeah.
But there is an alien in the book.
Yes, there is.
One of the 2 main characters, Ryan Gosling being the other. And then I opened this box. Make sure I got it all squared up. Look at this box. I mean, this looks like it's from an actual NASA mission. What is this container? So why don't you tell the folks at home?
In the book, there is one of the plot devices in the story is that in order to send information back to Earth, they use these pods called Beetles. And they are named after the Beatles. And so I decorated the box here to look like one of those pod containers. And this one is actually number 4, Ringo. So that's why it says Ringo on the box.
It says Ringo on it. It's also got, it says Ringo. Okay, you got to see the top. It says Ringo there at the bottom, the number. It's got the mission logo.
And it says across the top, I think it says something like Beetle Containment Unit or something.
Yes, it says Beetle Containment Unit 4. I mean, I knew what this was. So I opened this up and I'm like, totally, I couldn't believe it because it looks, like it's a licensed product.
You pull it open.
It's off. Okay. So when I pulled it open and looked down on this, it was quite unbelievable. Let me just, first of all, here's what it looks like in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I took out the foam.
Yeah.
So we're going to take this out. I mean, this is unbelievable. So, I mean, it's an action figure.
It's a 3D printed action figure of the alien character Rocky.
And there was this label in it, and it shows how to put him on the base.
Yeah, it's a magnetic base.
Which I mean,
yeah, there you go.
And it says Rocky. And Rocky's basically made out of rocks. He's like a silicon life form. He's like a cross between the Horta and E.T.
Right.
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 Horta being from Star Trek, for all of you know nothings out there.
Yeah.
But everyone knows what I mean by Horta. And this is fully articulated. I thought it was really clever how you did this.
It's a little loose. It's not, when you 3D print in a filament printer, you can't quite get the same type of articulation you would get in an action figure. At least,
but that's why he's on a base.
At least with my limited skills, he will stand if you prop him, and he has enough of a grip, he will stand. But the base will give you that certainty that he can stand.
But it's the greatest thing. Like he doesn't have a face.
He doesn't.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a face. And I think one of the way that Carlo Rambaldi brought E.T. to life in 1982, I dare say that Rocky will be E.T. for the 21st
I think so too. I think so too.
I mean, you have to read the book.
Yeah.
And Rocky is a scientist.
He is.
And Rocky is very, 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 very smart.
He's kind of a blue collar guy. I picture him as a kind of a blue collar engineer type of guy.
He was the blue collar member of the team.
When I
of his team.
When I made the belts for him, it reminded me of kind of like the suspenders on a superintendent at a building or something, right? So I make those belts for him so that they would kind of look like that. Yeah,
I mean it's incredible. It's one of the coolest things I've ever got in my life. I have to say. I do dearly love this.
And so a couple of Easter eggs, Rob. The base, if you look at the green base in the bottom there, that green base is painted to look like Planet Adrian.
Yeah, right.
And
I got that.
And the column, that is the pattern on the Blip A, on the little base column there. So the Rocky ship has these geometric patterns, and so that's what the column is decorated as.
By the way, the design of Rocky's ship in the movie is unbelievable.
That's cool.
I've tried to tell people it looks like the inside of a piano.
Oh wow!
Mixed with the Sulaco from Aliens. So but again, I've only seen a glimpse of it.
Yeah,
I was so astonished. You're watching it happening, and they that was the very end of the trailer.
Nice.
And it was, I hope they don't show Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just an interpretation of Rocky. We have no idea what Rocky will look like in the movie.
Right.
It could be similar to this. It could be, a completely different interpretation. This was, to be fair, I did not do the 3D modeling of it. I printed it, but it was a sculpt that somebody else had made. I did all the painting and all the customizing and stuff.
Oh, it's amazing.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it, Rob. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So,
well, I mean, I opened it up and I called you immediately. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, good. I was very happy to get your phone call, and I'm glad that it made it all in one piece. So, hope he earns a prominent spot there on your shelf, and then maybe in the future there'll be a Ryan Gosling Grace figure that could go.
Yeah,
with it.
I mean that's what we need. I mean, I'm sure someone will make an action figure.
Oh, sure, sooner or later. And I mean, assuming the movie will be popular, more than likely there'll be a lot of options out there.
That would be my second Ryan Gosling action figure after Detective K from Blade Runner 2049.
Awesome. So you could already pose him with a Ryan Gosling.
That's funny. I you know what? I could do that.
You could. All right. So thank you for sharing that, Rob. Again, glad you enjoyed the gift. We are going to go ahead and open it up all here for our members. If you're a member, you will be getting a message under the membership area of YouTube with the link to join us here in the Zoom chat.
And you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month.
99 cents a month is all you need to become a member. So that's very exciting. And let me see. Speaking of which, do we have any? Oh, we have a new member. Somebody, maybe they'll be in the chat today. Groovy Don't Play became a member. So maybe we'll have them join us in the chat today.
You like the Evil Dead and join us.
And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube who are not members, you get to hang out with us here as well. We'll do this for a couple of hours and then we will take it offline. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and let our members in. So let's go ahead and
our members
admit them. Here they come. Boom, 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 boom.
Hello. Is there anybody in there?
Everybody's coming in.
Just not if you can hear me.
Awesome. And it looks like, and remember, once you come in, I will call on you in the order that
you can never go out.
You can never leave. I will call you in the order that that you raise your hand, and then you'll have about 7 minutes to hang out here with Rob, and we are going to start things off. Let me make sure that I pin.
By the way, Castle Grayskull is here, and she wanted to say, she specifically asked if tomorrow on our 200th episode of Let's Get Physical Media, she could actually say where Dieter Bastian is from. So I'm saying this publicly that Castle Grayskull I will have her come on to do just that.
Okay, wonderful.
Take my line all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland.
There you go.
But she has to say it in her way, not like me. You can't.
That's
do
right.
A Rob impression.
That would be. That's gonna be fun. Give her. She could become your Ed McMahon, inviting folks. So
she'd be a hell of an Ed McMahon. She can be my wing lady any day.
All right. So let's kick things off here with Julian Mushkin. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Julian, you should be able to join us now.
I am joining you.
Well,
hello. So, what accent are we doing today?
Whatever you want.
Okay, well, that's a good one.
So, I saw Companion last night.
And?
I liked it.
It was good, right?
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few other little surprises in there, despite knowing the gist of most of it.
Yeah.
So that
it's a very clever film.
Yes, I like that for itself. I was thinking about it, and as I was sitting there hating the main character, dude, and I'm like, man, you don't deserve her. And so, yeah, seeing the whole story play out, and I'm thinking, wow, this really reminds me of Ex Machina in certain respects.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing. And then
it's as if Ex Machina went mainstream.
Yeah. And then as I thought about that, Cat taking advantage of my situation here. I thought about Pygmalion and Galatea.
Yeah, nice. Yes, sir.
Yes. And how there's been this whole history of stories of people creating things for themselves. And that the major difference, of course, being that when Pygmalion was done, that was in a world where men got their way with pretty much everything. And so, of course, the story ends with Galatea becoming his, love mate because he was so devoted to her and loved her and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, nowadays women are all on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
They turn us, they bend us to their will.
Yeah. But, and I didn't, and as I was thinking about it, I didn't want to get into the whole, men and women type thing, because I think the main gist of the story is that people who use other people or things as tools, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman.
No.
Everybody can, it doesn't matter what sex you are, that people oftentimes will use people as tools, and that's what's wrong. That's the message. Don't do that. Don't treat people like tools. Don't treat tools like crap. Yeah.
Well, I think that the lesson is that if you are going to use people like that, whatever you're going to use them for is bad anyway.
Well, so that's it. Don't use them. That's
don't even do what you're going to do. It's such a and people, people are vulnerable because everybody wants to be accepted, loved, cherished, and that's everyone's weakness. Unless you're an OnlyFans model, in which you make a lot of money from men's weakness.
Well,
I would know. I really wouldn't.
I notice also that there is a large contingent. There's a large market for the real doll type of product that, you know, I've come across these videos where these guys are unboxing these, you know,
Oh, dude,
mannequin dolls that, you know, they're going to use for their own pleasure. And I'm like, why? I mean, I understand, but you see that and you go, oh, I totally understand that in the future there is a market for selling an AI bot that, you know, you can
Oh yeah,
take
that'll do
advantage
whatever
of.
you want.
Yeah. And
And
that's wrong.
well, it's wrong unless you were born into a society that's normalized it all.
I know.
I mean, no, no, I think I keep telling people to read this book by Peter Watts called Blind Sight, which is one of my favorite
I need to get
science
to
fiction. It's pretty heavy. I mean, but the characters at the beginning, the male protagonist meets a female character, and it takes place in like the 2080s. And in the 2080s, nobody is having sex with real people. Very few people do. And it's because, you know, the funny thing about that to me is that intimacy is about connection. But even when people are even afraid to talk to each other about their own sexuality and what they like and what they don't like, and it's revealing yourself to somebody that becomes the basis of true intimacy, to explain to somebody who you really are and what you really think, and you let your guard down. Sexuality is just one part of it, but it sort of speaks to the fact that our civilization, the infantilization of our civilization, and that people they don't know how to open up to one another. They don't know how to talk to each other anymore, because unless you're talking to somebody through a screen, you know, being in front of somebody and bearing your soul to another human being is just too difficult. It's kind of sad. I mean, a real doll is just, it's so weird to think that at the end of the day, it just becomes another form of masturbation.
Yeah.
There goes Western civilization. We're either going to have it all torn down by the leftist progressive mob that wants to turn everything into a socialist, you know, dystopian nightmare, or people aren't going to want to touch each other. That's terrible. I don't want to live that way.
I don't either.
But
you know,
if I have 4K discs, it makes it more bearable. Look what I got today. Let's watch Amadeus in 4K.
no, you know, you find yourself coming back to the, you know, the whole time you were going, you could make something. You'd never stop to think, should you make something?
Right. You know, I mean, my whole goal in life when I was like 10 years old was to hook up with the lovely ladies. You know, I wanted to see boobies. Not anymore. People just want to play some more Fortnite. I'm like, well, that's too bad.
So
on that note,
yeah.
What else is going on?
Yeah, been trying to watch the Murderbot series.
How's that?
It's slow. It's not keeping my attention. My wife is not happy with it at all. And she's a big Murderbot fan. So she's like, nope, they didn't get it right.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you like to know what the new hot show is going to be?
The new hot show, yeah.
The new hot show that you cannot sleep on this. Department Q on Netflix. It's another limited series. It stars Matthew Good. It's on Netflix. Oh. It's based on I want to say it's a Danish series of books and movies, but it's been adapted for us. And to be fair, I've only watched 3 episodes. I have to say, when I got to the end of the first episode, my jaw was on the floor.
All right,
and
I'll look it up.
It's another mystery. It's about this cop that was shot at a murder scene, or what might have been a murder scene, and the murderer apparently returns and took out these cops who were investigating the murder scene, including Matthew Good. And he comes back to the force after recuperating for like 6 months, and nobody trusts him, and he's kind of a misanthrope, and everyone hates him. They give him they give him basically the basement, the old men's restroom, and they tell him to set up a cold case place, and it goes from there. And it's so good. It's so good. And Scott Frank made the Queen's Gambit with Anya Taylor-Joy, and he made Godless, the Western Godless, about the women who have the Western town. And this is his next project. It's fucking phenomenal.
Nice.
Phenomenal. I was just going to watch one episode, and I watched the first 3 until like 4 a.m.
Nice. Sounds great.
I was riveted.
Julian, it was great to see you. We've got Andy from Argentina coming up next. Welcome, Andy.
Hola.
Hola, hola.
Hola.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
How are you, Rob?
What's going on, dude? How are you?
Fine. Hola, Roberto. Siempre saluda, Roberto.
Saludos, saludos.
Okay. Now I can. I always like to say hi to Rob in Spanish.
We're multilingual here.
Yeah. Okay. So I will tell you what I was thinking about this time. I was thinking about the new Superman movie, and it's very weird marketing,
Yeah.
If we can call it that. But the thing is, I'm gonna make an opinion about how I perceive the fan base or the people who go to see a Superman movie. I believe this is all.
A Man Can Fly?
No, I believe that in 100% of people that can go see a Superman movie, maybe 10% are the real nerds. Maybe 10%.
Maybe,
if that. Then maybe another 20%, what I would call knowledgeable normies like me, because I'm not a nerd.
Sure.
I'm more than a normie, but I'm not a normie. I have like some movie knowledge, but I'm not you, of course. Now, the thing is, the other 70% is probably the bulk of the money that a movie can rely on, right? So that 70% is what I would call, and many YouTubers call, normies. Now, this is my thinking. I have a few directors that I love for the movies they made. John McTiernan, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, of course, and Robert Zemeckis. All right. Now, I grew up with Steven Spielberg's movies, and whenever a new Spielberg movie came out, yes, of course, it said from director Steven Spielberg, and I said, yeah. I never cared what the movie was about. I knew it was a Spielberg movie, so I was all excited,
Yeah.
With Zemeckis, I don't think that much. Of course, I loved Back to the Future and then Forrest Gump and all the movies he made. But then when Castaway came out, it wasn't like from director Robert Zemeckis. It's not. We love Castaway because the movie was great. I don't know if people recognize it that much because it was a Robert Zemeckis movie. You know what I mean? Then, when we talk about John McTiernan, yes, maybe everyone loved Die Hard. And then we saw Predator. Or no, it was the other way around. First Predator and then Die Hard. And then it wasn't from John McTiernan. Die Hard. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's not like we are going to see The Hunt for the Red October and then the third Die Hard movie and yes, another John McTiernan movie. No, nobody is thinking that, even though we love the director. And then James Cameron, of course, with Aliens and then The Abyss and the 2 Terminator movies. Now, the directors that I've mentioned have a very big portfolio of very successful movies that, in my opinion, changed cinema. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It changed cinema. Steven Spielberg, John McTiernan for action movies, James Cameron, and Robert Zemeckis. Even though all those directors are kind of, well, with the exception of James Cameron, kind of forgotten this time around because the last movies weren't that great. When I put that same mindset into James Gunn, and I see the filmography of James Gunn, I don't see much apart from MCU movies. I mean, yes, Slither and Super are two very low budget movies that weren't really that successful because they were like independent movies. And then we have, I don't know, do we have something else? I don't remember.
Well,
But
the three Guardians of the Galaxy movies
let's
collectively grossed $2.5 billion.
Let's put that aside, knowing that that's an MCU property. And if we take the MCU out of it, I don't know if those movies were created with that. I mean,
but I would say that of all the MCU movies, if there was no MCU, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies could still exist because they don't. All three of those movies really don't cross over that much with the MCU.
Yeah.
Whereas the Guardians of the Galaxy have appeared like in the Avengers and Infinity War and Endgame.
My point is that then we can talk about how Christopher Nolan made The Dark Knight and Batman Begins and does superhero movies without a larger universe. And he, with The Dark Knight, also, we can argue, changed cinema.
Oh, no, he definitely didn't.
Whenever we see Christopher Nolan, you see, oh, yeah, I'm excited. It doesn't matter what movie. I don't think James Gunn, and I'm not talking about nerds, and I'm not talking. I know what
you're saying. I know.
I mean, the marketing is being 80% James Gunn, 10% Superman, 5% who are the actors that are in the movie. Nobody know who David Cornswet is. We barely saw him talk. We barely saw him in anything. I think the marketing is like James Gunn patting himself on the back saying, I'm great. And yeah, you are great. You made a few MCU movies. Many other directors made really great MCU movies. And I don't know,
but he made a trilogy.
Yeah, he made a trilogy. And also Robert Zemeckis.
That he also wrote.
And Robert Zemeckis now makes that movie here, and nobody watched that now. And then if we take that, we can talk also about Taika Waititi, that it was a big thing, and now where is he? You know, like you are one or two failures from being a complete unknown in Hollywood. It's not like if you make
James Gunn might be one failure from being failure away from being a Hollywood unknown.
My point is, I think it's a mistake that the bulk of the marketing for Superman is how great James Gunn thinks he is for himself. And then he's making a Superman movie. And then very far away, here's David Cornswet. Look how awesome he is. Shouldn't it be the bulk of the marketing, Superman movie, David Cornswet meet the new Superman, and then James Gunn?
Okay, but let me give you an alternative. The last two movies that were called Superman or branded Superman, I'm not talking about Dawn of Justice or Justice League, but Man of Steel and Superman Returns both underperformed at the box office.
You know what? Yeah.
And so they both underperformed. And for all the Snyder bros gritting your teeth who are going to throw me box office numbers, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman underperformed because Man of Steel was a $225 million movie that they hope would make $1 billion, and Batman v Superman had Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in it. It cost $450 million. Everybody thought it was a slam dunk $1 billion movie, and it wasn't. And those movies neither one of those movies earned out. So people do not understand the economics of Hollywood. But I would say this: James Gunn, the three Guardians of the Galaxy movies that he made, all made way more money than anybody thought that they would. The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie made $750 million, and that was with the characters people didn't know. And he wrote and directed those characters. Nicole, I know you have a claim to the first script. I understand that. I'm not trying to slight you, but I'm trying to have a conversation, just so you know. But that was James Gunn is considered an auteur. So he is a writer-director. He is a visionary, like Christopher Nolan is an auteur, although he does work with other writers. And I think they don't have an actor to sell as Superman. And unless you watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you don't know who Rachel Brosnahan is. So the biggest marquee name they have to sell Superman is James Gunn, because he's the man who made 3 movies that made over $2 billion together in terms of, and they're considered to be one of the great trilogies of the MCU. So it's not, and by the way, you know, John Carpenter's movies all say on them, it's not in the titles, it doesn't say The Thing or Escape from New York. It says John Carpenter's Escape from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is branding as well, because the studio, you know, the studio's thinking, how are we going to market this movie? And they found out that Christopher Nolan has become a brand name, because part of the reason everybody knows his name is because they started using it in the marketing. And a studio like Warner Brothers, they had an ongoing deal with Christopher Nolan, so it was within their best interests to say from Christopher Nolan. And then now Universal gets to benefit, you know, because he left Warner Brothers and made Oppenheimer for Universal, and he's making the Odyssey for Universal too. So I think he's making the Odyssey for Universal, isn't he? I think he is. So that's kind of what's going on there. But I understand where you're coming from. I mean, look, it's not online. Everybody's already giving James Gunn a bunch of shit because he was already an online presence before he made Guardians of the Galaxy. Now he's an online presence making Superman and running DC Studios. So I think they're just going with what it is they have to market. Like David Cornsweat right now, the name David Cornsweat and Superman are not yet synonymous. So you can't sell a new Superman movie with a kid named David Cornsweat yet.
Yeah.
You have to let that crazy last name sink in. So
yeah. You couldn't say from Pearl. Right? You saw him in Pearl. You will love him as Superman.
Actually, I don't think anybody would want that to make that connection.
They probably don't want to make that connection. No. Andy, great to see you. As always, we've got Jeff Bingham.
Always a pleasure, sir. But you know what? I think we're all hoping the movie's great.
Yeah, that's the main thing, right? Jeff Bingham is coming up next. Jeff, you should be able to join us now. Welcome.
What's up, dude?
Hello. So
are you working on the book?
Well, I've reached the end of it, actually. I mean, it's obviously not done, but I've reached the end of it. And I've submitted for copyright.
Oh wow!
Copyright
Good for you.
So, yeah. Yes. It does sound like you haven't seen my messages yet.
You know, I've been getting thousands of messages.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back to people. I've been so crazy. I mean, in and out and up and down. And so, yeah, it's been, if I haven't got back, if you sent me some DMs and I haven't seen them or returned to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I didn't just finish like the manuscript for the book. I also updated my script accordingly to accommodate the story changes I settled on. And I had emailed you a copy of it. I did spam you a bit because I couldn't stop editing it. Yeah, you know that feeling. But
I'll have to look. I mean, I have 2 email accounts. Well, I'm sure I'll look at them both. I'll look at them both.
I think it's your Gmail.
Oh yeah, I'm involved with a couple of the projects that have emails flying fast and furious. So I'm getting like 100 a day.
Yeah, it's the Gmail account. Do you have 2 Gmail accounts though?
I do, but I have one for Imagination Connoisseurs Unlimited Business, and then my Gmail account's the one I have everybody send like letters to Rob. Everybody knows that Gmail account, so I get. But I'll look.
So you get scripts all the time. You get sent scripts all the time.
No, I don't accept scripts from just you. I don't. I can't legally. I can't look at anyone's. People now are sending me their books. They're sending me their scripts. They're sending me their proposals, and you know, you can't look at them. And it's normally so for anybody out there. I mean, I know you, but when somebody, if you're submitting something to a production company, they have a release form, and what you should always do is ask for the release form, because they have to sign a release form that it basically you agree to release them from any legal responsibility. Because basically what happens is if I'm developing a project about a space pirate and someone sends me their space pirate script and my space pirate script that I've been developing for 10 years gets made, the person that sent me their space pirate script can sue me. Even though I hadn't even seen their space pirate script, it doesn't matter. They'll come after you. It happens all the time because there's only so many. When people start thinking about movies, if you're a fan of science fiction, fantasy, and horror, everybody kind of plays with the same ideas. That's why we got Dante's Peak and Volcano, or Armageddon and Deep Impact, or take your pick.
I saw an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that talked about it. Like there was a fictional movie concept, and a friend of Andy Samberg's character sent a script to a producer who opens the package, and because of that, he had to get like the friend had to get a writing credit.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I'll look that up. But yeah, it's true. Yeah. And because you can't prove. And here's another thing that people don't understand. Like, let's say there's a zeitgeist moment where, one day a certain scientific, like they've discovered recently a giant sphere that's broadcasting a signal every 48 minutes or whatever it is. I read this yesterday. They don't know what it is. It's beaming out X-rays and it's regular, like every 48 minutes or something. Well, reading that, they think it's some kind of a star. But what if it isn't? What if it's like a Dyson sphere or something? And you read that news article, and then 20 other screenwriters go, I'm going to write a story about that. And then so a news story or something that's in the zeitgeist can inspire 10 different writers. And it's not that one writer ripped off another. It's that something literally was happening in culture that inspired people to put pen to paper or finger to keystroke. And that's something that and then a lot of people go, I had this idea first, and and it's and then you wind up getting sued, and it had nothing to do with you, and you guys just you're both inspired at the same time by the same article, not even knowing that you were doing this. And that's why people can't accept unsolicited manuscripts, because unless you're going through a solicited manuscript is a manuscript that comes through an agency. And if something comes through an agency or a management company or even a lawyer, then you're absolved of responsibility. If it's something I'm already working on, no one's going to sue you because it's coming from a legitimate source. And I get sent a lot of stuff, and I try and be nice. I mean, working my way through everything. It's just I have so much stuff that people send me, and I don't have anybody looking through my email except me. And I'm also using my email to do True Noir business and to do business on a couple other projects that I'm working on. So it gets a little, and I don't get mad at people because people just don't know. They don't know about I mean, it's funny because there's really no, I'm going to say this and people are going to get pissed off. There's really no legitimate movie news anymore. It's all hearsay and speculation. Like there's very few people that are going out, like Premiere Magazine, Empire's one where they're usually covering, but no one's doing any kind of articles. I mean, you see Puck and the Ankler talking about things, but there are very few people that are actual real reporters that are covering the entertainment news scene. You've got Deadline and Variety and Hollywood Reporter, and then you've got people like Puck and stuff like that. But there's, in the mainstream, there's not, no one's, maybe Esquire, you'll get one article a year in their Hollywood issue that's a hard-hitting article about some unsavory aspect of the business. But it's all us fans blathering on about the new Marvel and Star Wars movies. And so it's a lot. It used to be like somebody would write an article about why you couldn't just submit scripts to people, but there isn't. My favorite article ever about screenplay submission, for those of you who care to look it up, was written by Josh Olson, Academy Award nominated screenwriter Josh Olson. He wrote an article, I want to say it was the Village Voice, and I want to say it was written in 2009, called I Will Not Read Your Fucking Script. It's the single greatest article about screenplays and what writers in Hollywood go through. And I often want to cite it. I don't cite it very much anymore because people get mad. The best thing about it was the comment section. The article's great, but the comment section's really, really good. because people are all like, well, you had to be given your break somehow. If I can't just send my script out, how can I get a break? It's the greatest. The article's great and the responses are great. I don't even know if it's still up anymore, if you can get it. But
Yeah.
it was a great article.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me personally, I guess one of the reasons I tend not to go with the zeitgeist for the very same reason that you did, because it's like if something happens, everyone else is going to be on it. It's like, what's the point of me getting involved? I like to try and find things that maybe I sense have potential, but nobody's really onto in terms
Right.
of ideas.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
that's-
right now, the movie Together, the horror movie Together that's coming out this summer, is being sued because the makers of another very similar movie claim they ripped that movie off. And it's Dave Franco and his wife Alison Brie. Yeah, Alison Brie. They made it together, husband and wife team, and they're in the middle of a lawsuit now because people say they stole the movie and from someone else, because they like even pitched to them early on, you know, and but the thing is, the movie got made. So if they did rip it off, you've got one movie to look at and another movie to look at. And if there's a court case, that's all the evidence you need.
Right.
So it's rough, man.
Jeff, it was good to see you, my friend. Let's go ahead and bring in Ish.
But I'll get your emails.
Our Cookie Master General here. Welcome, Ish.
Cookie Master
How you
General.
guys doing?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I've been better.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had a little recent incident where I had to go to the hospital and stuff. But
An incident with you, or you had to go visit someone else?
oh, with me. Just time catching up to me.
Oh, time keeps on slipping into the
Yeah,
future.
you know, you see little things, little warning signs, and you kind of ignore them. Then all of a sudden, your body tells you you can't ignore it no more.
Yeah, that's going to happen when I have empty whiskey bottles or cocktail bottles to pour Diet Coke into. Perhaps my body is telling me something.
yeah, for sure. So that's how that's been. But only good thing about it is I was only in the hospital for 8 days. So
8 days,
yeah,
dude. That's no small thing.
8 days, and I lost 30 pounds in 8 days.
Oh, there you go. It's so hospital as Ozempic.
Yeah, that's the hospital's nasty food that I couldn't eat. That's what it was. Yeah, I was eating with oatmeal and drinking juice.
Yeah,
But
that's when you're supposed to get some hot nurse to sneak in a little something, you know.
yeah, those. Just a reminder: if anybody has to go to San Antonio Regional Hospital, please don't go there. Their nurses are terrible.
In Texas?
No, right here in it's in Rancho.
Oh man,
Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
I used to date a girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's delightful.
That was one of the most horrible experiences I've ever been through in my life.
Did they have to
Those
put something in
nurses
your body in those 8 days, like a tube or something?
Oh yeah, I had IVs in me, catheters, all kinds of stuff. So,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Yeah, was not a good experience.
What was the first thing you ate when you came out of the hospital?
Oh, you know what, Rob? I think me and my mom went to go get Chinese food.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. No, I'm wrong. Panera Bread. That's where we went.
Panera's good. Did you get some mac and cheese?
Panera Bread. No, I didn't. I ended up getting some sandwich, and I really didn't like it. But I'm not sure if it was because of Panera Bread or if it was because of the medication I was on. My taste buds were off for like a day or two.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, nothing tasted good when I first got home. So
Well, at least you're still with us now.
Yeah. They're just now. I'm just going through all these tests now that they want to run, and it's like time consuming. It's like I'd rather be doing. There's other things I'd rather be doing that they're taking my time up for. So, but so that's what happens when you're over 50. Things like that happen. So.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I'm. Look, I just started to hit the weights. Gotta going to my 40th high school reunion. I gotta look better, tighten it up. Everything's working, so I got to make sure that the rest of me looks good.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, the other day, I was going through some was it Facebook Reels or whatever.
Yep.
And it popped up, and it was popping up things about like, you know, what Gen X got to experience, what this generation never experienced and stuff
I've
like
noticed
that. Right?
There's been a lot of Gen X stuff the past week.
One of the things that hit me was it was talking about calling the movie theater and having to wait on the phone to hear what movie played next. and I was sitting here with my friend, and I just started laughing because I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
I totally
you had to listen to the recording on Friday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you'd have to listen to the whole thing, and it just made me start thinking about like.
Well, because the only place you'd know is if you had to look at the newspaper or call the theater itself.
Yeah. And it's just funny that I totally forgot about that because you get so used to this arranged seating and everything, and just it's so funny that
and the horror of realizing you had to go stand in line, man. You want to go see, you got to go. Oh man, Raiders of the Lost Ark is opening. We got to go. Got to get there 2 hours early.
But you know what though? What we did though, doing that though, we actually communicated with each other.
Yeah,
talk to people because you got to meet new people with same interests.
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah, and nowadays, like I said, these kids, they won't ever experience that. They just, you know, be on their phones, locked and engaged in their phone.
Well, I think that's the biggest. I mean, everything we used to do took us into the world.
Yeah,
everything. Like I always use it as an example. I do not. I mean, I understand it, but I do not know why kids today don't. When we turned 16. Everybody had their driver's license. You went and got your driver's license on your 16th birthday. You took driver's ed at school. It was a required course. And when you were 16, it was a rite of passage. I had to borrow my mom's shitty Ford LTD station wagon, but I could pile a bunch of friends in there. And you drive to like a movie theater. You go out to dinner or some shit. It's the first time you've driven your friends anywhere. It was like a big deal. And getting a driver's license represented freedom. Kids today, they don't give a because they can Uber everywhere. Why do I have to drive?
Their parents just take them everywhere. Because I remember walking to school. We used to walk in groups to school, and they can't even do that now. All the kids are dropped off by their parents.
Picked
up by their parents. And when I was in school, you got laughed at if your parents picked you up.
You didn't want your parents anywhere near at your school. If you had a problem and you told, the last thing I would ever want to do is tell my parents that there was a problem at school.
Yeah,
like, and especially not with a report card, because that shit would. And nowadays, it's totally like the big difference is we as kids fought our own battles.
Yeah,
we knew if we had some static at school, that was our private hell to go through. Now people talk about bullying. I'm like, bullying? I got in fucking fights, man. If somebody was bullying you, you smacked them in the face.
Yeah,
you know, if you had a problem, it would. And nowadays, like, I'm being bullied, people are not the truth. But then again, we didn't have people being douchebags online to our side.
Yeah, we didn't have safe spaces either.
I got bullied a lot in junior high school, but I got bullied more because I would fight back. Like when I was in 7th grade, a 9th grader dumped his whole tray of spaghetti on me. Wow. I picked up the spaghetti, took it back, and I threw it in his face. Now I knew. At the end of that day that I was getting beat down. Yeah, and I did. The kid's name was Jeff Rice. My orthodontist was his dad. Wow. And after school, I was like, a Timex watch. I took a licking and kept on ticking. But it wasn't pretty. Like, I got smacked around. Nowadays, but the thing is, we knew as kids that was an environment that we were living in. So we learned to navigate that. You learned how to stick up for yourself. You learned how to deal with problems. And I feel like now kids are they might know a lot more. They might be much more aware, but they're a lot softer. And watching
they are.
2 girls grow up and go through some of that, I've been astonished because I feel that kids today in some ways they know a lot more, but they don't have any street smarts. They don't have any worldly wisdom.
I question that they do know a lot more because I think everything is right at their fingertips. They just walk around with, I mean.
I guess I should say they have that. Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
They just Google everything. It's not that
they don't really know it. They know it for but I mean, some people do, depending on where they're from. But for the most part, it is a total lack of worldliness.
Yes,
And one of the
it
things
is.
about driving, it wasn't that it just gave you freedom, but when you're driving, you're keenly aware that the world outside of you is, because when you get on a freeway, you know, you see all the people driving around you. When you stop at a gas station, you learn etiquette. If you have to go in and talk to somebody, get some chit chat, put oil in your car, whatever, you were learning how to deal with the world around you. And I think kids today, I think all kids today should be dropped in the wilderness for 10 days with only a book of matches and a pocket knife and told, you got to figure out what direction to get out of here. And we'll monitor your progress. But if you're not out in 10 days, we'll come get you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ish. And I'm glad to see you are healthy.
I'm glad you're up and around. You feel better, man.
And up and around. Yes, please. And I mean, when you asked Rob, what was the first thing you ate after coming out of the hospital? Why wasn't it cookies?
Yeah, well, because he's not going to eat anyone that he didn't make himself.
Ah, that's right.
You had to get home
first.
To
get home and make the cookies. All right.
Yeah, dude.
A quick reminder that if people wanted to drop super chats or tips, that you can do that, and we'll be glad to read them here. We just have a quick one here saying that the Robo Producer has been a member for 22 months. So thank you so much for being a member.
Thank you very much, Robo Producer.
Bob Littlepage is up next. Bob, you should be able to join us now.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
They mentioned the Rancho Cucamonga, though. It brings back, the old Mel Blanc, Jack Benny thing. Now boarding on track 9 for Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga.
That's a long trip. That's going to Anaheim is out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the cars. We had the streetcar stuff that would do all that.
Like Johnny Carson. I'm like, people think, no, those are real places. Okay.
Going to the Coachella Valley.
Oh, yeah.
I love that stuff.
Oh, and also think about, people pitch an idea that, David Gerald had something similar on when they had a bunch of school kids touring the Filmation studios in the original animated series. David Gerald's, oh yeah, here's whatever right, and one kid, you gotta bring back Tribbles. And yeah, we just did that when he started running out his idea. Yeah, no, we did that already. It aired a couple weeks. It aired. The kid's parents sued him.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'd never heard that story. Wow.
Yeah, and it's what never. And he told the guy, never put me in a situation again.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's a real problem. And there's two things that are truisms in life.
Mm-hmm.
One is that everybody thinks that they have a good idea for a movie.
Yeah,
everybody
unique.
and everybody thinks their life is interesting enough. Me and my friends, we could be the basis of a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
And I don't dissuade them of that idea because you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I'm like, great, then you should make it. That's my answer. Go make it.
Just watch it if it just comes up as warmed over, Seinfeld. And
well, sometimes you make a movie like Swingers. It turns out to be great.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really depends.
Yeah. But I think I'm finally getting disgusted enough of my own lack of activity. My wife got me this mug. I had the handle broke in the shipping. I don't know how many months ago. I think before the election. Finally got around to fixing that.
What does the mug say on it?
Kirk Spock 2024, the logical place.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm finally going to finish that damn. Now the weather's finally clearing up and go out back on the patio
and spray paint.
And do some, some sealant and stuff.
I've been dealing with that myself.
Yeah, and I've also want to get because they got a customizable Fortnite skin, Mandalorian skin in Fortnite.
Oh, really?
Okay. Because I've been wanting to do Mandalorian armor for a while. I got the helmet. It's a 3D printed thing. It needs a lot of sanding. But okay, here's my chance to test out some color schemes, figure out what I want, And got what I want. Now I can't find the helmet. It's buried somewhere over there,
Yeah,
I did unearth my Darth Vader helmet, but
well, that's good.
That's progress.
I gotta get. If I had a 3D printer, I'd never stop using it. I don't even know how much the stuff costs that you need to print 3D.
I know they come down some.
I mean, I keep looking at people making these incredible 3D printed models that I'm like, I would like. I want somebody made a hatchet fighter from Buck Rogers in the 25th century, and I want that. But it's big. It's like studio scale.
Yikes!
And Wonderfest is this weekend, isn't it?
It's coming up. I know. I keep getting in from.
I think it's this weekend, and the I salivate every time I see. Actually, I haven't even looked. Wonderfest photos. Let's see if it's happening.
I could get mentioned like Cult TV Man or something.
Yeah, I mean,
one of these days. That's kind of
Cult TV. That's one of the places Cult. I don't even ever want to look. Amazon and Cult TV Man. How much money if I were to calculate?
Yeah. I think I ordered a couple of pieces from
terrible
TV Man.
Okay, Wonderfest is happening, and there are photographs from Wonderfest. They're out. They're out there to see now.
Yeah, if you head on that area, also make sure point to hit Metropolis, Illinois.
Oh, right. Yeah,
they have gotten a whole log into Superman. They've been doing this since the 70s.
Yeah,
gorgeous, great museum in there, and again, like a 30-foot tall Superman museum in the center of town.
So next week,
every June or so, they have a Superman days with some guy dressed up as Superman. Hi, they stop a robbery of a bunch of goons.
Yes, but next week we got a Superman movie coming.
Yeah, I'm still got doubts about that one.
I think it's going to be good.
It will be interesting. It's a hard sell for me though, because it's like, no, they messed up the Yes Shield, and I'm with Snarky J. Crypto is miscast. Okay, Crypto is never a sparky little terrier. Okay, with more of a.
Well, we've never seen Crypto like in a movie like this before. Yeah,
yeah, but it's mostly like sort
boy,
of,
I love Snarky J.
Just super intelligent kind of a lab or Labrador, something like that. But that's like what the
something more robust.
He cast his own dog basically in the role because his own his dog was being a little bit
Hey man, if I made the movie, Crypto would be a Burnettdoodle, and everybody would get all over my shit. You can't make Crypto a Burnettdoodle. I would though.
Yeah.
Because
I think I kind of we had I think it was a retriever, or some kind of shepherd mix named Charlie, and that was a great dog.
Yeah, well,
but that was many years ago.
I hope Superman. If Superman is not good, we're not going to hear the end of it forever. I think I'm going to leave the internet.
I think there's just a few unforced errors. Finally saw, okay, well, all right, he does a good job with the character, but there's just too much stuff. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Why is the rest of Justice League there?
Well, you have the
work
Justice
it in.
Gang.
Okay, yeah.
You got to see it first. You got to see it before you can complain.
I know, but there's just a few red flags here. But you're getting more with Fantastic Four, though. Like, does Pablo Pascal have to be in every fucking thing?
I hope it's good, man.
For Christ's sake, leave something for somebody else. Okay.
Well, yeah, that last episode, episode 6 of The Last of Us was really, really good. He was great in that episode.
Has he got his head caved in?
No, it was a flashback episode. It was really, really good though. I enjoyed it.
I've never seen a gameplay of the game. It's like,
okay. It's I've only played Last of Us 1. It was a great game. I really liked it.
Yeah, part 2 though was like where it went off the railroad tracks. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we sure Abby's a girl?
Well, the game did a good job of it apparently, but yeah, I mean, I think she's a really Caitlin Deaver. Catherine Deaver, she's a great actress, and we'll see because she's going to take over the center seat next season. So we shall see. But I don't, zombies, cordyceps, whatever.
Yeah,
it's a little played out.
I know. I should have written it down or something, but I had an idea for Star Trek fan film using the sets in Sandusky. And it's like, okay, and just need a couple of sets. Okay, so yeah, I'll have to get it back to what I was thinking of. They'll throw it by you. Yeah.
You could, if you're in the Star Trek universe, you could stop the zombie apocalypse by transporting all the zombies and keeping them in transit, never materialize them,
or just beam them into deep space.
Or you could do that too.
Yeah,
but they'd still be alive. Just beam them into the sun.
They wouldn't do much though.
No.
Or just again with widest possible dispersal, just a big cloud of zombie dust.
Yeah, there you go.
Or beam them into the sun.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bob, it was great to see you.
Gravity. All right.
Thanks for joining us today.
All righty.
All right, man. Thank you. Good to see you, man. One day we're going to end up talking about Starfleet Academy, and it's not going to be a good day.
Oh my gosh. Man, and they got good people and cast on that series, right?
Why would you want to watch a Star Trek series about people that are still in school?
Oh my God.
When you've seen Star Trek for 50 years with people that have already graduated.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just like, we want to do, I mean, how many people are going to do Buffy again and again and again and again? And then when they tell you they've cast a villain, I'm like, if it's not John Houseman as Professor Kingsfield in The Paper Chase, why would you need a villain?
Yeah.
The villain is the financial aid department.
The principal, or
the financial aid department at Starfleet Academy.
In this cashless society that we have created, financial aid somehow is now an issue.
Yeah, and the students protesting against the Klingons' treatment of the Organians.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Oh my God! All right, we got Richard Eve coming up next. Richard, you should be able to unmute now.
What's going on, dude?
Hey, all right.
How are you?
Great. I'm absolutely fabulous. Do you know
That's
why?
Good to hear.
Do you know why I'm absolutely fabulous, Rob? Right.
Well, because they're making a revival of that show. No, I have no idea.
Right. No. That would not make me feel. It would make me feel. It wouldn't make me feel bad, but you know. So, show and tell. A tiny bit of show and tell. Okay. Right. So this is. As I mentioned before, I've got an album coming out on the August the 8th, right? And for this one, I'm going to do some videos, some pop videos. I've done videos for other bands before, but I've never done one for my own music. So this is going to be a new thing. And right, here's the thing. Maybe I should exile myself to Cuba straight away, but here's going to be the thing. It's going to involve AI. Right, it's going to use AI in these videos, but let me tell you about the technique and see what you think about it. Okay, so just this is a work in progress. This is a creature that I'm sculpting. It's kind of like a half mollusk, half sort of gorilla, mountain gorilla.
Yeah, I like it. I was gonna say I really like the design.
Yeah, so that's not finished in any way. Here is a finished creature. So this one here,
wow,
which is
looks like some girls I know.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble now.
That's what everyone says, right? Including my wife. So, right, but
that's actually really cool, though.
So this is like a sort of half plant, half animal type alien creature.
Like I said, it's like
right.
some girls I know.
Yeah. And these are going to be featured in a model diorama as well.
Right. Okay.
With different model dioramas. So it's all physically sculpted, using image to video prompts to animate them.
Sure, of course.
Right.
Well, I mean, have you played with Google's new?
I haven't,
Glow?
but I have used. I'm still in the experimental stage, but the results so far have just been absolutely astonishing.
Oh,
and this is the thing that I really want to get across, that it is. I'm now in a position, because of this technology, to be able to manifest things that I have envisioned ever since I was a child.
Are you asking for me to give you absolution for using AI? Is that what you're trying to say?
I am asking you to be very reasonable about this application.
No, but here's what. But I would say you should absolutely use AI in this way. Like, look, there's this weird pushback that AI somehow is like, we're gonna protest it enough and get somebody to put it back in the bottle. This technology is not going anywhere, and as everybody points out, right now is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better. And believe you me, I mean, I'm looking at things like right now, you can't take an actor's image on Google's the 3rd edition of, was it Vero? You can't take like an actor or a person and then have it do the voice yet.
Right.
You know, it'll do the voice for made up AI people, but you can't send it. And look, no one's going to give me money to make a lot of the movies I want to make. I can sit and I'll be able to do an entire feature film right now. And so that the thing is, we're going to get hit with a deluge of crappy stuff. But this technology is basically going to make anybody be able to make a movie or do music videos. I mean, remember when music videos like first started, they were pretty embryonic and a lot of them looked the same and people weren't. I mean, this technology is already, you should use it to the fullest of its ability. I mean, how else? You could never do stop motion animation with your own sculpted collections without 6 months of your life going by.
Well, exactly.
And so now you've got you've got your own creatures that you've sculpted and made, and you're going to use AI technology to bring them to life. What's not to love about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It's an opportunity I just can't say no to. You know, it's
and the music is
incredible. Yours, right? You know, I mean, and it's what I hope that I was thinking about the advent of AI and how people will misuse it, and also how that compares to so many other things that have become public access in the arts, including social media.
Well, it's going to be like, you know what? Everybody can still learn to play the guitar, but why aren't there many more rock bands today?
Yeah. I mean, I think actually, if you look for them, there are loads of new acts, and the internet is thirsty for new acts, especially ones that seem authentic. I see a lot. I don't really look for them, but my wife is really into finding new music, and there's so many new bands now that are
that's good for her. I find that's very admirable.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the advent of social media and how it is that, to me, that's public access journalism, right? It used to be that you'd write a letter to the New York Times or whatever, and you'd put like blood and sweat into it, post it, maybe it'll get published, maybe it'll get. Now you don't have to worry about that. You know, you just there you go. But that's a real privilege that a lot of people don't seem to acknowledge how much of a privilege it is. You know, you've got a speech public thoroughfare there, and people just fill this with crap. You know, like they don't think about what they're saying and stuff like that. They don't take care of it. You know, and I think you're going to get a lot of that with AI as well. It's all going to be, I can make Alien 17 or whatever.
The thing about, I think the real pushback is that AI is going to put a lot of people out of work. On a number of different disciplines. And like, for instance, you know, the things that when I did my show the other night, I read like 8 different articles about AI, and it was, some of the things were terrifying. Like the applications of AI to create weaponized superflus or super viruses that genetically target certain ethnic groups or individuals. Like, you could literally tailor a genetic device to kill a single person. And there's monstrous applications for AI, and people are going to use them. And then also it's going to put a lot of people out of work. But then on the other hand, like, if you wanted to figure out the secret of immortality, you might be able to use quantum computing to figure out what you need. Here, make me a pill that will retard my aging. And then AI will have access to every single piece of information that has ever been collected by medical science. You know, and it can look at it all with a quantum computer in seconds, if not split seconds, and be like, oh, here's what you need to do. You know, and we're gonna that kind of thing, and it's gonna be amazing. You know, they're gonna create already. I mean, the problem is AI quantum computing can smash any kind of safeguards. Like, if your personal passwords and all that stuff, it's gonna be a big problem because AI will just smash it. But it'll, you know, I think, go forth and utilize. I mean, you're making your own music, you're sculpting your own characters. AI in that case is just another tool that's going to allow you to realize something you couldn't have realized on your own, but it's still all your work. So what would be different is if you asked AI to create creatures for you and then you put them in your music video. That I would be like, you're going to be getting an amalgamation of the work from other people, but you did your own work. And I think that's the difference. And the music's your own. I mean, what AI can do with music now is insane. And being able to play music in a bar, or I mean, being in a jazz club at 3:30 in the morning in Paris while they can't smoke outside anymore, but they'll be smoking inside, listening to a jazz trio. AI is never going to be able to replace that. So
yeah, great to see you, Richard.
I want to see the music video now.
I know.
Chop, Richard, get it done. Or as Captain Edward Jellicoe said, get her done. Get it done.
We got Castle Grayskull.
All right.
We needed more than one Castle Grayskull, so she's here.
There is only one Castle Grayskull.
There is only one, but
ever be.
Got two names. Welcome, Castle
like
Grayskull.
The female Highlander.
Well, hello, everybody. Hi, bonjour, Mr. Burnett. How are you?
I'm good. Are you going to not show us your face?
Oh, well, I don't know. Like something is not working on this thing. Hold on. How the heck do I go? Start video.
Because I got to hook you up with Dave Parker.
Hi, everybody.
There you are. How are you? So are you gonna come on the show tomorrow and introduce Dieter Bastian?
Well, are you gonna cut me a check for that?
I'll give you some. I can give you some discs.
Disc. All right, perfect.
I'll send you some discs.
I'll take a couple.
Okay.
Oh no, that's so funny. Well, if you want me to come on, sure.
It'd be hilarious. I'll just quickly. What I'll do is I don't know if I have your email, but I'll have to get you a link, and so I'll have you come on for the beginning of the show. You'll come in, and I'll go, and because I'll be like, and I'll say something like our favorite German or your favorite German. And we're going to hear where he comes from and turn it over to Castle Grayskull.
From Saarbrücken, Deutschland.
Yeah. But then you've got to give Dieter a few words of praise, because it is after all the 200th show.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you all deserve a whole bunch of praise, and I mean, I've just been enjoying my time listening to all of you guys and just getting like a lot of inspiration, and it's just been
to do what I'll never know.
I don't know, just like inspired. I mean, like people are writing, people are making like these big like, space knitting.
Major Chai is making a gigantic. She's knitting a gigantic Death Star.
People are writing books. People are doing music. It's just like everybody's like so inspiring, and it just like makes you want to be like a better person. So that's great.
I will take that.
Well, there you go. And I just also wanted to say thank you so much for all the compliments, and everybody's been like so unbelievably appreciative of me since I appeared last week, and encouraging me and all that stuff. So it's been like super nice. Thank you. Merci beaucoup à tous. I'm very, very thankful, and it's been quite extraordinary. I mean, I'm not used to getting any of this, compliments and praise and all that stuff. So it's really cute. And like, the fact that you're telling me that I could be your wing lady anytime, I'm like, whoa, okay, sure. Hey, have me on.
I mean it too. I've never had a wing lady.
Ooh, well, there you go. There's always a first for everything. So I'm glad to be on today and to be able to talk to all of you guys. And I also wanted to say to you, Mr. Burnett, because because you have started me on this rabbit hole, and
I'm good at that.
Yes. So you had told me last week about the Mr. Knight.
Oh yes.
Yes. Well, guess what? Hot Toys actually has a Mr. Knight figure coming out.
They do, and they did it to spite this figure.
Yes.
It's probably going to be better than this figure, but this figure is pretty dope. And you know what? You can already get this figure.
Well, I know, but I said, okay, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get the Mr. Knight since I already have the Moon Knight.
I know. Yeah. I don't know when he's coming out, though.
It says on the website anytime between October and I think March of next year. And
I have this now.
It has like a real life, Oscar Isaac face.
Well, that's the dope. It has the head sculpt. Actually,
so I gotta have it. He's like super like.
I think this comes with the head sculpt too.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I don't know if I use it though. I mean, I didn't use it on this, but
No. Like I'm just like so looking forward to that. And so I called the distributor that I found for the Moon Knight, and he said, "Yeah, sure, you can come in and but we have to because we're in Canada, we have to make a deposit, and so it's actually quite pricey. It's $125 just for the deposit.
Yeah, but
and
you don't have to pay a goddamn tariff.
It to US and whatever, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot of money, but it's okay.
But you got time. You got time to save up for it.
Well, there you go. And also on the actual Hot Toys website, I saw something else that I think I'm gonna get.
What is it?
It's John Wick.
Oh, there's there's some great John Wick. Are you going to get the artisan John Wick from or is it a Hot Toys John Wick that you can already get?
It's the Hot Toys, like the deluxe edition.
Yeah. It's a great figure.
I gotta get it. I mean, like he's so good, and he's like just such a good Canadian guy. And I said, you know what, might as well, just like John Campy would say, he's a good Canadian kid. Well, he's a fabulous Canadian kid. So,
he is.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna try to support that as much as possible. And so just wanted to say hi, and I just wanted to know, what's going on with you, Robert? How you doing? Is your cough all finished?
Is my what?
Is your cough all finished? Are you better?
My cough. I get this. Yes, I that whatever I had, it took a long time to get rid of. But I feel pretty good. But I do get this weird cough. I'm allergic to pollen, and when I was a kid, I had to get many shots. Like there was a period of time for like 2.5 years where every week I went in and got a shot. It was that's why I don't have a problem with shots. I'm like, whatever, stick me wherever you want. But sometimes I would get a little cough, but I haven't from usually pollen induced. Okay. But it's so hot here that I don't usually get that. But it was that whatever I had I've never had something that lasted almost 2 months because I usually don't get sick. So it was.
I'd like to give a specific shout out also to Paul Allen Brunotto, and hopefully he's feeling better. And Bo Edmonds also, that I had foot surgery, and Ish that just came on. Just hope he gets better soon. I hope everybody gets better soon, and sending you all my love and support. And and I just wanted to show you something. Maybe I don't know, it's kind of really a bit stupid, but this is something that I actually did.
Don't believe it's stupid.
Well, I don't know. This is just something that I did when I was in high school. So I was like pretty artistic way back then. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's kind of like on felt. And it's kind of like, art inspiration. I don't know if you can see it, but
wow.
There you go. I don't know if you can see it, but
that's really cool.
Yeah. So that's something that
that's pretty great work.
Done a little while ago. So high school was like a long time ago.
What
so
is that? What is the meat? So is it on felt? What did you?
It is on felt. Yeah.
So what is that? What kind of pencils did you use? Pencils or?
It's some pencils and a little bit of crayon for the
wow.
The actual relief part of it. So that was something that I did. So
that's amazing.
A little art piece, and I've done a little bit of everything too. I've touched base with painting and sculpting and stuff like that. So it's not anything much, but I just wanted to do a little show.
That's really impressive.
Thank you very much. And
you should do more of it.
My time is up, but I just wanted to say hopefully I'll be able to speak to Major Chai Chai in person one day, and say hi to Dave Parker for me. And
I will. Don't you worry, I will.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting really hot under the collar already. Mamma mia pizzeria, as we say in Italian. And and so hi to. I'll say hi to everybody. I see that Victoria is on as well too. So hi, Victoria, and hi everybody else. And have a great rest of the day. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. But I don't know if you have my email.
I do.
Okay, so RM, send me your email so I can send you a link because it'd be hilarious if you introduced Dieter.
Okay, fantastic. Now,
I'm gonna
should
make
I
that.
figure
Remember,
out
that's 11 o'clock Pacific time.
as the redhead, or would you like another color?
Oh, I don't tell women how to dress. I don't play that game. I learned a long time ago. All I do is nod and tell you look beautiful.
Excuse me, what?
You look beautiful. You look absolutely stunning, alluring,
Oh.
delicious, delectable, delightful, effervescent. You look amazing.
Wait a second. Hold on. Ooh,
All right.
Mamma
Good to
mia.
go.
It's getting a little
Getting
warm
hot in
under the
here.
collar
Oh my
here,
God.
Rob. Yeah. Good to see you,
All right.
Castle Grayskull. Thanks for joining us.
Apparently, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
We've got Syrian Penguin coming up next.
I love that. I just love the idea of a Syrian penguin.
Well,
I'm going to find out right now that there's probably some.
It's
I don't know how, but there's probably there probably literally are Syrian penguins.
Honestly, I actually remember back in the day we took a school trip to a zoo and there were penguins. So
there are there are Syrian penguins.
Apparently,
is
I
that
don't know if
zoo
they're
still
native,
there
but
though?
they were there.
You know, when we were working on Chronicles of Narnia back in New Zealand, and I don't say this as a flex, but there was a place on the South Island in a town called Oamaru, and it was a pub called Fat Sally's. And outside of Fat Sally's was the one and only time there was a deluge of penguins that came up out of the ocean.
Marsh of the Penguins.
Yeah, it was wild, man. And they came up to the opening of Fat Sally's. And that was the only time I've ever seen penguins in the wild, and they are just as hilarious as you would expect them to be.
They are hilarious. They're like chicken, but better somehow.
Yeah, because the way they look, they just look like they're wearing a suit. So they look like they're smarter than you. They're going to work. Like here we are. And this is a lot of penguins. It's like they had a purpose. It was wild.
Marsh of the Penguins. Maybe Tolkien was looking at the herd of penguins on some Norwegian coast or something. And
they're going to Fat Sally's to find
they were
a date.
trees.
They're looking for the ladies. So what's going on, man?
My initial thought was to go into your favorite topic ever, because I've watched your stream, was it last night or the night before? But I thought it might be a bit too much for now. I don't know.
I'll say anything. Believe me, nothing's been too much over the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed with the chat a couple of days ago, because like the amount of ignorance, probably good-hearted ignorance, but still ignorance at the end of the day, that I encounter in the West broadly, especially in the US, heck, in Europe, I'm not gonna go that far, is astounding. Like, whether you're pro or against Israel, pro or against Palestine, like, at least learn what the hell you're talking about.
They don't know at all.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that's that's really the frustrating thing is, you know, Americans now, especially young people, I don't mean to be like those college kids, they really don't know anything. And it's not just about that area of the world, if they even can find it on a map.
About history in general.
They don't know. Yeah, they don't know anything about, you ask about the last 200 or 100 years of history. They don't know. And the thing that I don't get is a cursory Google search. If you're interested, like if you're going to become a protester, like I would think that you would need to go out and understand what you're protesting, and just, you can do a 10-minute Google search and read like 5 articles and get up to speed on certain things.
Yeah.
But they don't even do that.
And the problem, the slight issue with that would be validating your own biases, because you go out intentionally Googling what you want to find. And because of the abundance of grifters out there, you're probably going to find something that validates you. I mean, how you remember from was it last year or the year before, when the October 7th thing happened, suddenly all over TikTok, the Bin Laden manifesto was circulating, and people were like, he made some points. When you take it out of all the context, without history, without understanding of anything, it's like, on the face of it, okay, but does that justify this?
And the thing is, then you'd ask them, well, do you know who Bin Laden was? No. No. I mean, and that's what I find so weird about our modern age now, because when I was growing up, our entertainment delved into, I did a show a couple of weeks back where I talked about like Roots, the TV miniseries Roots, which was all about slaves. And it was the very first time in the United States we had a popular entertainment that depicted the horrors of slavery. And it was watched at the time, it was like the most watched show other than like the Super Bowl or something, but it was the most watched show on American television. And it was the first time that Americans could see the horrors of slavery detailed in this way. And it's wild to think. And so when I was a kid growing up, like that was when I was in the 4th grade, so I was 10. And we had lots of popular entertainments that were full of history, and whether they were as historically accurate as they should be is another time for another story, or another story for another day. But the thing is, they still brought your attention to this, and it would give you a cursory understanding of what was going on. So,
and even when it was like a bit more propagandistic, at least it's trying to propagandize a positive message. Yes. Whereas now it's always self-hatred, victim mentality, all of this self-loathing, and somehow thinking that we're now more racist or divisive than the people who were apparently watching this TV series about depicting slavery from, I don't know, decades ago, and it was like the #1 show or whatever.
Well,
or
and also
Star Trek analogies that in various episodes and stuff.
Well, people, you've got all these college students screaming about Western civilization, but it was Western civilization that put an end to slavery. The British colonizers were really the first people in the West that said no more.
Nobody talks about Islamic slavery. I wonder why.
Which is still going on. I mean, it's because here's the thing.
In Africa, especially.
The reason is that there's nothing. First of all, Islamic history itself is fascinating, like going all the way back.
Believe you me, I find it plenty fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, Islamic history is incredibly fascinating. While I feel that it's unfortunate that there was no real Reformation or no Age of Enlightenment for Islam, but it is fascinating. I mean, look, we wouldn't have landed on the moon without Islamic history. And I think that we are we don't understand Islam in the West at all. We think of people like, oh, you can't discriminate against, Muslims because Muslims are nice. And it's like, okay, they are. Just like there's nice Christians and there's Christian nationalists that want to blow shit up. I mean, there's all different kinds of
There's a fundamental difference, though. I mean, we're probably out of time, but if we have
we got
half
time.
An hour more, I can go into it. The problem is that it's not like you can't. The reformations with Christianity is basically returning to the fundamentals of Christianity.
Yes.
With Islam, if you return to the fundamentals of Islam, you get terrorism, because that's literally what it started with. So
yes,
you have to throw it out.
Well, and that's the thing. How do you do that? Because a lot of Islamists.
You do what the Arab Gulf countries are doing, which is basically trying to ignore it and open a new page with de-emphasizing basically the religious aspect and focusing more on the nation, the culture, the tradition that is devoid of
100%. And that that's what they should do. And maybe there's going to be a new golden age. It's interesting because look, the bin Solomon, I don't pronounce his name correctly, but he wanted to in Saudi Arabia. You know what they made? They have made inflatable sound stages. So if you want to shoot a movie, because there's so many cultural reforms happening in the kingdom that the prince loves movies, loves them. And he's trying to encourage movie making to come to Saudi Arabia. And they've created this, because the desert, this inflatable technology where you can literally inflate and shoot in these sound stages. And they really want to encourage filmmaking there. And to me, that's kind of how culture's best. It's the sharing of culture. It's like anywhere else. When Hollywood goes someplace, like when I worked in Bulgaria, the Bulgarian crews were great. once they're trained and understand, it was great, the enthusiastic crews and all that. And you go to Saudi Arabia, you have a whole group of people that have never had a film industry. And suddenly they're going to want to get involved in the film industry. And there's going to be a change. It'll be tough, but there's going to be a lot of people who take to it and love it. And it could be the kind of thing where women might be allowed to work in the film industry in Saudi Arabia. And that would be a way in for, once I can't wait to see what a woman producer in Saudi Arabia would probably be the most ball busting effective producer we've ever seen in the history of movie making. So it could be a great thing. So that's the way culture changes, not through multiculturalism by the melting pot. That's what the American experiment is all about. Bring everybody over here. We'll steal from all of you. We can make money in America. We'll take anything you got. Come on and join the country. Come on in for the big win. We don't need you to keep your own communities in Dearborn, Michigan, or in Texas. Join the American melting pot. So, yeah. I'd love to go make a movie in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what the crew would do on Friday nights in terms of hard day. Be a whole underground, the movie industry would have a whole underground liquor marketing. That'd be another business. How do you finance your movies? Well, we're bootlegging here on set.
Gray market on set. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got, thank you so much for joining us, Syrian Penguin.
Good to see you.
And we got Kelvin Welburn joining us next from Down Under. Welcome, Kelvin.
Kelvin has a picture of himself in what looked like a suit going to some event.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know if he's here. He may have stepped away because let me see. Did he send me a message or anything saying he was going to be?
We can come back to him.
We can come back to Kelvin. So we'll skip Kelvin for now and we'll go to Alon, our friend all the way.
By the way, I didn't know that Habib was silenced either at the end of that. I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
It's your fault.
It's me. You know me. I was
okay.
trying to.
I got your Rocky here.
I'm trying to control the queue. Alon, are you there, my friend? Let me see. Trying to see if you can connect with us now. Looks like Alon may have stepped. Oh, he says he needs 2 seconds. Well,
like Chuck Woolery on Love Connection. I need 2 and 2.
Need 2 and 2. So let's give Alon a couple of seconds. And then if Kelvin can hear me, Kelvin, I'll have you come up after.
Alon's back.
Alon. Oh. So there you are. Welcome, Alon. Long time no see.
Are those new headphones, dude?
They are.
Look at that light up. Look at how spiffy that technology you got there is.
I bought a lot of cool new technology a couple of days ago. So I got a new MacBook.
Did you say you bought a lot of colonial technology?
Cool new.
Oh, cool new. It'd be hilarious if you said I got these colonial technology. That's you got a new MacBook though? Did you get an M4?
Yeah.
Sweet, dude.
There it is.
I'm talking to you on an M1, man. I need an M4. And the next iteration, the M5 becomes one big Star Trek reference. It's the M5 computer. Give my regards to Captain Dunzel.
Yeah.
So, how are things where your neck of the woods is?
I mean, it's more of the same. I don't really know how to react to the news. So it's more of the same.
Have you seen any movies? Do you see Thunderbolts?
I have. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
I saw it opening night. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think we talked about it.
Yeah. Have you seen Mission Impossible?
No, not yet. But my brother loved it. My brother says it's it's awesome. I gotta try that.
It's not perfect, but I liked it. Like I said, it's full of lots of gobbledygook, but I liked it. It's got two all-time action sequences though.
Really?
2 good ones. Yes. Oh look, Victoria's looking at me with a sour expression. I don't think. She's thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, come on. There's a submarine sequence and an airplane sequence that are all timers.
Yeah.
Really good.
I gotta say, but I really need to catch up with Dead Reckoning, the first one first. So it'll take.
Nah, you don't. It'll tell you everything you need to know in the beginning of. By the way, it'll tell you everything you need to know for 90 minutes before it gets to, and it'll tell you over and over and over and over again.
I did manage to like
to
watch.
Alon, it's the closest thing to Mission Impossible doing like what the old series would have done, which would be like a previously on Mission Impossible.
Last week on Mission Impossible. Last decades on Mission Impossible.
Last decade.
The entity in Mission Impossible 3 actually used to be primordial goo that we used to call the rabbit's foot. I mean, oh wait, spoiler alert. I didn't forget I said that.
That's okay. That's okay. I didn't get it. Where was I? Oh, okay. So I did manage to watch like the series finale of like the season finale of Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like I can't say that I enjoyed like the season, but I got to it. There was some good parts and like some pretty shitty parts. But I'm looking forward to the next season actually. Like even though like I did have a couple of episodes that like I didn't really care for.
Yeah. Well, I think that they had a fundamental problem, which was Last of Us 2, which doesn't lend itself to a narrative on TV the way that The Last of Us 1 did. So they're kind of locked into dealing with that narrative. So
yeah, but like I gotta say that like they handle it pretty well.
That's the siege.
I felt like I enjoyed most of it.
Yeah, that siege in Wyoming was one of the great episodes of TV you're going to see this year. I mean, that was incredible. That was an incredible. Yeah. And I thought the flashback episode with Joel, the second to the last episode, the penultimate episode, was really good.
Oh, the Flash was really good.
That was really good.
I was kidding. I was trolling a little bit.
Oh, the Flash was really good. I liked it.
I'm me too.
I bought the Michael Keaton hot toy from the Flash. I want to get Supergirl and Flash and.
Oh no, I don't really have any toys of like of the DCU, which I should. I really like all of them, most of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't really have a lot to say other than that. I did watch like your entire political stream a couple of days ago. Or the closest you do to.
You know what? If somebody, one of our members sent me that letter, and I thought I couldn't not read it. I started reading it the other day, and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't read this letter. So I already started it, but look. If somebody takes the time to write me a letter, I always have a sense of wonder about that somebody took the time to write me a letter, and I wanted to talk about that stuff. You know, I wanted to. And I thought I tried to do it in a measured way. I was a little scattered, but
you did.
You know,
and I felt like it felt even.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
because look, I am very much when it comes to, it's such a weird thing to me because growing up being a Reformed Jew in America is a weird thing anyway. And then looking like, quote unquote, look Jewish. And I'm like, I loved when I went to Israel because I'm like, well, a lot of people here don't look Jewish either, in terms of what Americans think. And I'm like, this is fantastic. But it was, it's, I can't help the fact that I was raised Jewish and I love being Jewish. And I love being Jewish because
God really wanted you to be Jewish.
But the thing about Judaism that I always liked was it as I tried to say, it's a religion about education. I mean, it literally stresses learning.
The people of the book.
That's exactly right. And when I was a kid, I loved that. And at my going to Sunday school and all that, and learning and watching the debates that my parents and especially my Aunt Barbara and Uncle Herman. I mean, I never understood it was, and then having to meet people as a little kid, you met Holocaust survivors every year when I was at religion school. And it was, to hear, I've heard Jew hatred my whole life. And to see what has happened in this country over the last 2 years has been, it's unbelievable. And it also shows how much Qatar and the Muslim Brotherhood have succeeded in subjugating our universities, and what it's because talking about people that don't know what they're talking about. It's like, come on, man, you guys don't even know what it is you're protesting, and it's just been it's been
very frustrating.
It's yes, it's also sad because it's like they're gonna come for you. You know, you're not. But I wanted to talk about it in such a way. I figured that letter was a way to get into it.
Yeah,
you know.
You did well.
Well, thank
I
you.
really enjoyed it. And, anyway, have a nice weekend.
By the way, not everybody did. I mean, it's funny because when you have a movie channel, like it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. If I talk about anything other than movies or TV shows, people
the
like
usual comments come.
Yeah, I don't tune in to listen to you. And I'm like, how can you? The funny thing to me is like, as a movie fan, I've been interested in politics. I mean, half the movies I watched when I was growing up, being as old as I am, they were either about World War II or Vietnam. You know, I mean, that was something. And nowadays, it's so weird. Nowadays, people don't realize how in the 80s and 70s, Vietnam loomed. We got our asses kicked in Vietnam, and the country was. It took a long time for America. We just finally just gave up. But you don't see movies about these subjects anymore. And it's wild because the new generation has no connection. They don't even know what you're talking about. Vietnam, where's that?
Yeah. It really sucks because like those movies are pretty good. Really good.
I mean, some of my favorite movies, Apocalypse Now is one of my favorite movies of all time. And that's about Vietnam, and it's about a book that was written a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's two strikes why kids today won't care.
Yeah.
Great to see you all on.
Good to see you.
Take care.
Cheers.
Okay, I think Kelvin's back. So let's go ahead and bring Kelvin in.
So, dude, I got to know why you're wearing a suit. You posted a picture of you on Facebook.
I wasn't really. It was a charity dinner. There's this cafe that I go to all the time, Walt's Cafe, and the guy he's the owner. I know him as Brother because everyone calls him Brother. He calls everyone Brother, so you don't have to know his name. He's actually Prabin.
Does he actually say brother? Does he say, hey, bro?
No, he says Brother.
Oh, cool.
Emphasis on brother.
What are you drinking, brother? Brother.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, he's decided to, because there's a group of regulars like myself who go there all the time, he decided he would organise a charity meal once a month for his mother's charity in Nepal. That's where he's from. And for orphaned girls or something. So, and some of the charity also is local ones too.
That's really cool. Good for him.
Yeah. No,
and you dressed up.
Well, it was normal. I didn't have. It's not a suit. It's just like I was wearing this.
Oh, looked like you had a sport coat on.
No, it was just this. It's my when I want to pretend that I'm Emperor Palpatine or something.
I can see you as Emperor Palpatine.
I've got a friend of mine who used to do his Emperor Palpatine impression as a teacher to scare the shit out of the kids.
Oh, that at least they'd learn their alphabet.
Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't do that nowadays. They're too scared. I think they'd be too frightened.
Or they go home and complain to their parents.
I think so. Exactly.
And the school, some teacher would be brought up. We'd see in America, this teacher was brought up before the school board doing an Emperor Palpatine impression. You can't do that to the children.
No, it's exactly the problem. Actually, you're mentioning Vietnam. Were you obsessed about Vietnam films? Because I was.
Because they were. I mean,
arms in that country.
Well, there was so many Vietnam movies that came out between like 75 to even in the latter half of the 80s. When did Brian De Palma's the movie he made? Casualties of War. I mean, you look at that, Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox. I mean, Platoon came out in 86. And that movie was like a horror movie. I love that movie, but my God, I took a date to it. I didn't think she'd ever then. Where'd you guys go? We went and saw Platoon. Nope.
Actually, there's a couple of Australian movies. One I really enjoy, always watch it, is The Odd Angry Shot. It's from about 1979. Hang on, what have I got here? Just check this out. Oops, I've spelled that wrong. Have I? Do I?
Castle Grayskull asks if Rambo was in Vietnam. Yes, John Rambo was in Vietnam.
Yeah, no, this movie is The Odd Angry Shot. It stars a comedian, strangely enough, Graham Kennedy, who actually also was gay as well. But that was one of those things in the 70s. Of course, no one ever talked about
I was going to say, was he gay in Vietnam?
No, well, no. He was the hard-bitten NCO. And the other actors are like John Hargraves, John Jarrett, Brian Brown.
Wow.
Yeah, so, no, it's really good. And the other movie was made a couple of years ago. It's called Danger Close, The Battle of Long Tan.
Wow.
That was where Australia had our great victory of 110 men against the 2,500 North Vietnamese Viet Cong in the 1966. 66, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, the movie, because it lacks the polish of an American movie and the money that you could get.
Right. Helicopters.
Well, they did have armored personnel carriers in the movie.
Well, that's good.
So, which was the real deal.
Right.
And they did have, I think they did manage to get a couple of helicopters from somewhere, but yeah. But no, all I can say is that there was one movie I always remember was terrible. It was called The Iron Triangle. It was an awful. It looked like it was shot in Mexico because it looked like there was these Mexicans playing the Vietcong.
Probably was.
But anyway, that was an aside from what I was going to. I just remember you some time ago you were talking about Ken Crane.
Yes, Ken Crane's late. Yeah.
This is my first one. Well, one of the first ones I actually bought from him, from that store.
Wow.
Online in about 1997. So.
Did you go to the Ken Crane's on Beach Boulevard, or did you go to the one?
No. This was mail order.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't even think I'm trying to think or did I just, I don't know. Maybe it was the early days of the internet, because it's very hard to remember now, because it was so long ago. When was this? Yeah, I bought it in the 14th of the 8th, 1998.
That's very specific.
It is, because I have a database here.
So we would go to Ken Crane's once a month. We drive to Beach Boulevard in Westminster, which is down the 405. It's right by the beach, and that's where their flagship store was. Where they had all their laser discs, and there's usually like 4 of us, and whoever spent the most money, the other guys had to buy them lunch.
Oh, right, that was pretty good. But anyway, this is the reason why I have this one still.
Wow.
Is signed by Mr. Ray.
That's amazing. When did you get that signed?
About 2000, 2001, he came to Melbourne as a guest of a comic book shop. And so I had a good chat to him for about an hour or something.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was. I have pre-ordered Quatermass 2. The pre-order is up.
Oh, shit. Is it? I'm going to go there right now. I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my, yeah, I got scared. No.
Well, yeah, man, I'm pre-ordering that goodness right now.
So
here it is.
I'll make you spend some money again.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Thanks for telling me that.
That's all right. My pleasure.
Wait a minute. They have the Quatermass Experiment and Quatermass 2?
Yes, they've got the BBC serial on there as well.
Well,
So I expect if they do
wait, but
Quatermass,
no. Wait a minute. The Quatermass Experiment is up for pre-sale, but Quatermass 2 is a different movie.
that's correct. Didn't you know that's called Enemy from Space?
Yes, but but so they've got both of them up for pre-order.
Yes, that's right.
Why did you send me here today? I didn't know Quatermass 2 was up for. I thought only one was up for pre-sale. How can you? They're both $83. Why did you send me? Why did you tell me this? Why? Why did you do this to me?
Kelvin, you're going into the penalty box, Kelvin.
God damn it, Kelvin. I thought I was only going to get one Quatermass movie.
And there's one other pre-order that's just come up too, and maybe is the Sweeney season 1 is also up for pre-order.
All right.
God damn it.
We're gonna have to kick out Kelvin out of here before Rob's pockets start to burn.
I have a mortgage to pay, you know. I mean, I got people I owe money to. It's like I can't buy shit like that.
Do more True Noir, and you'll be right.
Yeah, I owe people money for True Noir. I can't be, you know.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
Kelvin, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. That's just great.
Oh man, Marco Lamy is joining us next. Welcome, Marco.
He's waited patiently.
He has waited patiently.
It's been a long time.
How's it going, man? Good to see you again.
Really good. I know you like to be educated, so if you'll indulge me,
yes,
educate you on the English football pyramid. Because
I'm ready.
More than like people getting things wrong, but obviously it's not their fault. But first, I have to tell you this thing before it does my head in. Tunisia is actually pronounced Tunisia, not
Tunisia, not Tunisia.
Perfect.
Tunisia.
I've got that little monkey off my back.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because we always say Tunisia.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Tunisia.
Yep, perfect.
All right. That's good to know. Because, you know, that's where they shot Star Wars. I've been saying it wrong for 50 years.
Now you won't be doing it again. Hopefully.
Tunisia. Got it. I like that.
Yeah, good. So the English football system. So every country around the world has 5 leagues.
Okay.
So in the UK we have Premiership, which is the top, which is where Tottenham is, Man United is. And then we have the Championship, where Wrexham is. Then we have League 1 and League 2. So obviously there's promotion and relegation for each. So Wrexham are in the Championship. Hopefully, well, they're hoping to get.
So there's the Premier League, the Championship League, and then 1 and 2.
That's it. So the Premiership.
But you said there was 5.
Yeah, there is, but there's 4 professional ones, and there's
got it. Okay, so was Tottenham always in the Premier League?
Yeah, so that's why this is interesting, because you know that obviously Tottenham won a trophy.
Right.
Tottenham are actually garbage, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay. First of all, let me just, before you go on. So there's this very lovely girl, a friend of mine, Ellie, who full disclosure, she and I used to date. She's terrific. I love her to death. Tottenham is her favorite team ever. And if we were to besmirch the Tottenham Hotspurs, the Yids, on this channel, he might do something that I would regret later.
You know what Yid stands for, don't you?
What's that?
You know what Yid means?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yiddish. I do.
It's actually frowned upon. They chant it, and it's actually frowned upon.
I know. The Jewish team. I love it. But here's the thing. The Hotspurs, you can't call them garbage.
Right. I'm spitting facts here.
Actually, you can.
Right.
What about Crystal Palace?
Right. Okay. So this is where it gets interesting. So,
and I'll tell you that only because I know Paul Jenkins. I love Paul Jenkins, who created the Sentry for Marvel, the comic. Crystal Palace has been his team his whole life, and it's like being a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
So
obviously right. Yes, kind of. You've got they finished above Tottenham, but I'll explain that. So in the UK, there's obviously 4 leagues. But there's supplement competitions, like a knockout competition.
Okay.
A bit like the playoffs. So any team can win, basically. So Crystal Palace. So there's like 900 odd clubs in the UK, and Crystal Palace won that competition.
Wow.
But the competition that Tottenham won, you get all of the kind of best teams from each country. They compete in another knockout tournament, which Tottenham won. But Tottenham finished 17th out of 20.
Oh.
So that is not very good.
Oh, so they are rubbish. They are rubbish then.
Everyone admits that, but they won a trophy at the end of the day.
So they're like every kid gets a trophy in America. If you're winning 17th, Tottenham's really like the retarded kid that you got to give a trophy to. I've just got canceled, demonetized.
The thing is that now they've won that trophy, it's probably going to form as like a springboard for them to kind of maybe be better next year.
Well, that's good. Wow. So it's Premier, Championship 1 and 2. But now, can somebody in the Championship League move up to Premier?
Yeah, it happens many a time. My team did that, in fact.
Now, who's your team?
Luton, but they got relegated twice on the spin. So they were in the Premiership, now they're in League One due to mismanagement.
Wow, so they didn't even get to Championship? They went
to Championship, then they got relegated again, which is unheard of.
So your team's rubbish too?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Now let me help me understand this. Why is it that people fall in love, or they're born, they go to their first football match? The Brits never give up a team. No one switches. Like Paul Jenkins has talked about Crystal Palace his whole life. Why didn't he just be like, I become an Arsenal fan? I'm a Man United fan.
You can't do that. But you have a lot of people that support a team based on success. So they're called glory hunters, and they're like the worst thing in sport for me.
Can you beat them up? Can you be a soccer hooligan and go after the glory hunters?
Most of my friends are, and I like constantly at them.
Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah.
Which reminds me, why did they call it a sports jacket in America when you could pretty much never play any sport while wearing one?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I've always wondered that. I think it's because you wore jackets to like upscale sporting events, like the horse races, like when you go to the racetrack or something. I know that my dad did. My dad loved horse racing, and horse race tracks in America are kind of grungy places, but he would always dress up to go.
No, fair enough.
So, wow, Premier Championship. I have to say, Marco, I have now learned something that I honestly didn't know. And I hope that Ellie's not watching the stream.
And now you can be the fountain of knowledge when you come to speak to it.
Yeah, I can't wait, because I had no clue. Now I know. I mean, now the four, just to know the Championship is above Premier. Oh wait, no, Premier's above Championship.
Yeah, but you've got.
I know now.
You'll have random competitions where anybody can win one.
Wow, that's not good. I don't like that. I don't like how your team could go from Championship to League 2.
Well, they went down to non-league. They went down to the 5th one because they had a penalty, like financial penalty. So now they went all the way to the bottom and went all the way back up again.
Wow. Well, only here on this channel on the Burnettwork can you get this kind of information.
Well, maybe I can be the bastion of sport, maybe.
You can be the official, our official football correspondent. Although Ellie has been sending me videos about these things, because she's a Tottenham fanatic. She's traveled around the world, like they went and played in Korea and Japan or something, and she went and saw them.
Really?
She's that crazy. Yeah. And she's a metallurgist. She's like a doctor. She's like a scientist, and she's a metallurgist, and she's a Tottenham fanatic, and she's a
meteorologist.
No, she's a metallurgist. Like she's worked at titanium companies, and
oh wow,
and she's a big geek too.
You and me both. How many both?
So there you go. She's got it all.
You can do like a point counterpoint show between you and her, and do that.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming on, man. See, Premier and Championship. You learn something new every single day. Because I go on the John Campy show and we talk. I don't know why. The last week we've talked about it twice. I know fuck all about those leagues. I just know Man United and Arsenal, and Crystal Palace and Tottenham.
I think
and now I know. Was it Luthen?
I know Ted Lasso.
Luthen.
That's about it. Ted Lasso is about the extent of my
of
my knowledge.
And Wrexham.
Yeah. Marcus McGruber is here. Hopefully, not having to work out his way out of a dangerous situation. Marcus, can you hear me?
Hello.
Welcome.
What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. You're wearing an Avengers shirt.
I am Mech Avengers. My ex got me this shirt.
Oh man, I love. Isn't that great when our women leave us? We still got all the shirts they give to us, and we wear them anyway.
Well, it wasn't a woman, but yeah. And I try not to wash it too often.
See, I shouldn't gender anybody. I fucked up. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to make assumptions.
No, don't worry about it.
It is, after all, about to be Pride.
Yeah, I'm not really into that whole thing, but I support. I'm not a hater like so many these days.
It can't be a hater. I'm just all about people getting laid.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's right.
I could use more of that. Sure.
Yes, we all could. It would straighten the world out the fuck out.
Actually, just sat down at a pizza place. I'm here in Chicago. It's a nice sunny day.
Nice.
Testing out my new Moto Razor, which I love.
Oh, it's a flip, right? They brought.
Yeah, I'm talking to you on a little square.
Yeah. Okay. What is your go-to Chicago pizza?
I'm from Pennsylvania, so I actually don't love Chicago pizza. I have a hard time finding good. I like Detroit style more than I like Chicago.
Wow. Can you even tell people that in Chicago, or will they beat you up?
They don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pennsylvania, or Detroit style pizza. What's your go-to pizza?
Thank you. Well, in Pennsylvania, it's a place called Westgate Pizza. Just New York style thin crust. I love that.
But what do you like on it? What's your perfect
my
pizza
favorite
pie?
combo is perfect pizza is pepperoni, sausage, black olives, and green peppers.
Nice. I'd eat that. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's my favorite combo.
So do you live in Chicago now?
Yeah, I've been here for about 10 years. I love it, except it's too cold for me. I think I want to move south.
I like Chicago. I was there last year when we were working on True Noir. I think it's a great town. It's a lot of Chicago is a lot of fun. Like
in the summer, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I just like the people there. I like walking around. I mean, we were there in the dead of winter. I was walking on the streets and it was cold, as really cold, but everybody was cool. Like everywhere you go, people are like, hey, how's it going? I talk to people wherever I went.
It's very scenic, and I wish more movies were shot here. It's just the architecture, the lay of the land. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we might be shooting a movie there next year if all goes well. We'll see.
I need to keep track of that because
we'll put you in it.
Say hi.
You got to be in it.
But actually, there's a bus going by right now. It just stopped next to me. But
we can still hear you.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's not my Moto Razor doing its thing. Cost a lot, so I'm glad it's working. But yeah, next week I'm actually diving into stand-up again, so I'm excited to get into, my dreams and all that type of corny stuff. Dive back into what I love. I really want this bus to leave.
But it's cool because Chicago obviously was Second City. We went to Second City when I was there, not to see any shows, just to talk to some of the people that work there. And what a great legacy for comedy Chicago has.
I've done some improv classes at Second City. It's really fun. You can just pay $20, drop in, do some improv with some other people, and
that's cool.
Have a good time. Yeah, it's a really good city for comedy. That's part of why I moved here 10 years ago. But I've been dabbling, and now I'm finally trying to dive in. But other than that, I just wanted to pick your brain on nostalgia and franchise nostalgia, and just how good Final Destination is doing. Look at the Halloween reboot with Jamie Lee, how much that made. I don't understand why these studios like Lionsgate doesn't just pay $10 million and put a Leprechaun movie in theaters, or get Robert Englund back in the makeup. He'll probably take $50,000 at this point, and he would love to do it. I don't understand why they don't
You know,
See the writing on
it's a really good question. And I think that what you need is you need the creative people to convince the studio. Like, for instance, Craig Perry, one of the producers of Final Destination, was one of the prime movers behind getting this new film made. There hasn't been a Final Destination movie for 14 years. And I think they had a combination of, they had a really great take on the material, and they look at other horror franchises that have been brought back. Scream worked, like you pointed out, Halloween worked. And so they were able to look at Final Destination and say, okay, these guys have a fresh take. We'll do it. And I think if somebody, you know, they remade Nightmare with Jackie Earle Haley, and it just didn't work. And so I think it's a combination. You have to have the people in charge that they believe in the people that want to make the film, and there's a good script, there's a good director. You have to have all those elements in place. I think studios would make more if they thought they were going to turn out good, because so often they turn out shitty. And it's hard it's hard to say, like, would in this day and age, when they're looking at the kind of horror that's making money, I think after Final Destination, doing another Nightmare on Elm Street with Robert Englund's a no-brainer. You know, if they had a great take on it. I totally agree with you.
He would love to do this.
I think so too. I mean, you know, and he could still do it.
It's almost like they forget about cable and DVD sales and VHS and how many people actually watch these movies at home. I think that's part of the success for Final Destination, anyway, because people like the films and so many people have seen them. And yeah, it's been so long. I just think there's so many franchises. I think that's why Days of Future Past, outside of Deadpool, is the most highest grossing X-Men film, because people saw Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry.
Yep, I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Which is why they need to pay Halle Berry what she wants for Doomsday. And it's clear to me that it's a money thing by her response at that one press junket where she smirked and said, I'm not in the movie. But I think she just doesn't want to do it for nothing when it's probably a cameo. These X-Men should be the main focus of that movie. It should really be most of them, that they could get Daniel Cudmore, get Sean Ashmore. How expensive can these people be? Get them all back and let's say goodbye and usher in a new multiversal team, a new team, younger team.
I don't. Well, I think they are gonna do that, but not for the new Avengers movies. They're gonna keep the old. You know, there was talk a long time ago online about how the X-Men cast, they couldn't recast or make a new X-Men movie until after 2025. And I've never seen those contracts or anything, and I've never seen it, but it makes sense to me that they're still using the old X-Men, because they keep bringing back the characters.
The general public loves, I mean, nerds don't like Halle Berry as Storm, but the general public does.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. My friends and family like to want to see her back. You know what I mean? So
no, I agree. I agree with you. And she was terribly. Storm and Cyclops really suffered, I think, the most in terms of their characters being underwritten and not being given enough screen time. I mean, I thought James Marsden was great, and having worked with him on a film, he's a terrific guy, and I think that they need to give him more to do. And I'm hoping that with the X-Men in Doomsday, that they're gonna get a chance to shine. Because look, I think Days of Future Past, it's my favorite X-Men movie too, and I love it. I think it's great. So, well, listen, it was good to see you.
Good to see you, Marcus.
Enjoy Chicago. Enjoy the pizza.
Apologies to the folks on YouTube. For some reason, our video was down. The audio was still going, so people could hear us, but there was a video issue. So I think I've restored it now. Folks can let me know in the comments if there are still issues. We're just having a little bit of a troubleshooting day today. And then I just wanted to also let us know that Glimmercat gifted one Burnettwork membership. So there might be a new member thanks to Glimmercat's submission or gift here. So thank you for that, Glimmercat.
I missed 1001 Johnny's last tip. the other night.
Do you want to go ahead and share it now?
Yes, I do.
Let's do it.
And let me just get to it here. 1001 Johnny said, and here's what I missed. Actually, it was 3 tips. Oh no, wait, hang on. Yeah, no, I got this one, but it was the one I missed was no, wait, these I got. Why did I think I missed one? There was one I missed. Maybe it was a super chat. I got his tips. I don't know. With 1001 Johnny, I think I missed a tip of yours. I mean, a super chat.
A super chat.
I can't see. The
All
tips and the super chats are in different places.
Right.
So.
All right. And I am having trouble here figuring.
He says it was a free super chat. Well, then, you didn't lose your money. Cheers to that.
Well, and we got to give thanks now to Alone Abadi, because Alone has now gifted 5 memberships. So,
that's cool.
Thank you so much for doing that, Alon. And,
thank you, sir.
Alon also pointed out he's been a member for 31 months.
That's crazy.
I have a feeling it's been longer than that, don't you think? Oh, maybe member, not you've definitely been connected with us for as long.
Yeah.
And that it looks like Jet Vanyan has just become a member, maybe thanks to one of the gifted memberships that we have just received. So thank you so much. Welcome, Jet. You'll be able to join us in one of these future calls. All right, we've got Stubble McShave coming up next. This will probably be our last call on the stream. We'll probably be taking it offline after this one. But
this is time for Modesty is going to get really
spicy. There we go. We have Modesty on the queue. Stubble, welcome. And by the way, rest in peace, Wheel of Time, Amazon TV show.
Oh, yeah.
So
sorry,
my condolences.
No.
Yeah, I think you're going to be fine. Good to see you, Stubble.
Yeah, I care most about the book, so that's okay. But anyway, how are you doing, Rob? How are you doing, Roberto?
I'm doing well.
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah. I thought that I would do a speed round today. Talked about these things.
I've gotten through a few.
Oh, you have? How many?
Yeah, I think 3.
Yeah.
Thing is, I do have, there's actually, you can't see it, but right behind this computer, there's 2 bookcases right there.
Yeah.
And there's 2 shelves of the Dresden files.
Yeah. I thought that I should do a speed round and just, a sentence or 2, and you can ask a question if you want.
Okay. Give them to me.
So you are done 3, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. So
the first 3, I'm reading them in order.
Yeah, I would say book 2 is the worst of the lot. So
yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah. I read it anyway, though.
Just for fun, I can say that the titles are two words with the same number of letters, just as a style. Except for the 12th, which is changes, which is 1 word, which is like the midpoint of the whole series.
I didn't know that.
No. But anyway, so I skipped the first 2.
I like the books, though. I mean, I like them. I can see why you sent them to me.
Yeah, and he'll cover all of folklore and monsters and the whole gambit.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So the third you had read, The Grave Peril. It's about that's. That was by far my favorite of the 3.
Yeah,
that's by far the best of the first 3, so to speak. And what to say about it? Really good. You meet the Red Court vampires and ghosts, and you get 2 side characters that returns. It's Thomas Rafe and Michael Carpenter. Thomas Rafe is like Incubus and.
Right.
Thomas Carpenter is like a modern day paladin, can say.
Right. Yes.
Yep. The 4th is Summer Night. I don't know if you have gotten to that.
No, I have not read. I've only read the first 3.
It's a little bit slower, but the world building is great. It's really good world building. So it's about the fairy courts, the summer and winter. Yeah, and some people think it's a little slow. I think it's fine, but the world building is really impressive.
Nice.
Yeah. And if you have anything you want to ask about, just
well, okay. I would ask like what's interesting is because you got me into these after I told you I think about the Joe Ledger books.
Yeah.
And they the Dresden Files lean much more heavily, I think, into fantasy, than into more like, which I like. It's a different approach. Does that stay the same throughout the whole series?
Yes, it's it's a fantasy thing with, but you pick about from all parts of
like
human folklore.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Ledger books. He's like, okay, here's a horror trope. Let's delve into it.
So there's some really deep cuts later on,
Okay.
And you'll get Odin as a chief, as a boss of a security company, and you get Santa Claus wielding a long sword.
Oh yeah, I love that. Anytime you can do that to Santa, I'm in.
Yeah, and it's believable. It's not
No, I mean, one of my favorite horror novels of all time is by a guy named Robert Devereaux, and the book's called Santa Steps Out.
Yeah,
you got to read it. Now it's a trilogy, but when I read it, there was only one.
Yeah. Fifth one is Death Masks. It's introducing biblical themes. So you have the 30 denarians, which are demons that possess humans, and they are 30 because they are 30. What do you get 30 from? Do you think in biblical terms?
The Trinity?
No, it's the 30 pieces of silver that Judas got for.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's Michael Carpenter and his two colleagues fights against these monsters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's biblical things there. Blood Rights is it's okay. He goes undercover on a porn site. Thought you would like that.
Right up my alley.
And he gets a dog. He gets a dog, which is a great character.
Nice. Does the dog talk?
No, but he's highly intelligent. He kind of talks later on in the later books.
Okay.
Yeah. And Deadbeat, one of the greatest books in the series. It's zombies, necromancers, and spoiler, a zombie T-Rex appears.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's new.
Running through the streets of Chicago.
Stubble, are all of these continuing adventures, or are they standalone stories?
They are. The first books are like Monsters of the Week, but they build on each other.
Okay.
So later on we get a more epic nature. In the beginning, they're more, Monster of the Week type of things.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know how much time I have. I can save a few for the next time.
No, it's okay. Keep going.
Yeah. You've got 90 seconds.
Yeah.
You're not done yet.
Yeah. Proven guilty, and Harry helps Michael's daughter out, and there's things that take the shape of movie monsters at the horror movie convention site.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So
like
these
that.
are just cursory.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. White Knight is it's not my favorite, but it's okay. White Court Vampires, like Thomas Rafe,
sure,
heavily featured in this one. I'm speeding through this. Small favor, they introduces the archive, which is I would say got the inspiration from Paul's sister in June. You know.
Sure, of course.
It's a young girl who has all the human knowledge ever known. You know.
Wow. Okay.
And the deniers, you know, the demons, Christian demons stuff returns. It's quite good. And Turncoat. What should I? We'll skip that one for now. That's he saves one of his arch enemies. And I'll end with the changes, which is, I can honestly say, this is one of my top 5 books ever.
Wow.
I read. It's absolutely epic, but you have to read the first ones to get it.
Right. Sure.
So these are not books you can just jump into this one. You should read the previous ones.
I would say the first 3 you could more or less jump in, but then they build on each other.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have a few left, but we'll skip them from now. But Changes, it's one of the greatest books I ever read.
Now, Stovall, you're a Project Hail Mary fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Rob, did you see the little dude that I sent to
I don't know if you were here yet.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, you saw it.
All right.
And I couldn't really get, you know, when I read the text, I kind of got how it looked, but not really.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting interpretation of it.
Yeah, and we will see how he gets interpreted in the movie. I have no idea what he's going to look like.
Curious to see how it's. I just hope they don't show him.
Yeah,
because I think if they the way they showed it to us at CinemaCon, it seemed like a really serious, realistic, hardcore sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
And they ended it that way, and I hope they keep that marketing, that tone, because it was great.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and I'll just say that in the book series, that he goes to really dark places, and it's not happy-go-lucky all the time. It goes pretty dark.
That's good.
And he has to make some really moral questionable decisions.
I do that every day.
Oh, I know.
Thanks for sharing those stuff. Well, you piqued my curiosity. I the only thing I knew about Dresden Files was the TV series that lasted for a few seasons, right?
And if you should skip one book, skip book 2, because it has no bearing on what happens later, and it's the worst of the bunch.
Okay, good to know.
Well, thanks. Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And Rob, I think we are ready to say goodbye to our friends on YouTube. So any last words to share?
Well, it's been fun, like Kirk said, and I'll see you all in the next life. Oh, you mean ending this show?
Ending this show.
Well, thanks all for your support. Thanks for those of you who are members, and it's great to do these things every other week.
Yeah, and for those of you who are members, the chat will continue. We're just gonna be ending the stream here because sometimes if it goes too long, and then we're already experiencing some technical challenges, so we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye. So thanks to everybody on YouTube, and we will see you next time.
And I'm running out of time, so it's good. It's good that we're ending this. We're not ending it yet.